All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next section, which is fixing some of the little issues in these games. What I'd like to do is make it so that when there is no next room, it actually just, it doesn't throw an error, and most of all, it actually does the I would like to play again dialogue. So, the controller is the thing that's actually making it so that we're going to the next room, and it's step event. So, if the number of master bricks is 0, I'm going to the next room. Well, what I need to do is make sure that there is a next room, and then go to the next room if that exists. So what I'm going to do is, under main 1, there's one of the questions about next room, which is the kind of purpley octagons. If the next room exists, then I'm going to go to the next room. So that's going to be inside its own start and end block inside of this one. So that should make it so that it doesn't throw the error anymore. Speaking of which, what happens if there is no next room? So I'm in the last one and I just won. Rather than sitting there staring at a blank screen waiting for the ball to go flying off the screen, what I'd like to do is make it actually end the game. So that's the else statement that goes on here. So if there is no next room, I'm going to do my ending game stuff here. Being the lazy person I am, I'm just going to pull that from no more lives because it's exactly the same stuff. What you can do is highlight the top one, hold down the shift key, click on the bottom one, and you can copy the whole thing. So I just clicked on the top one, hold down shift, click on the bottom one, and you can right click and copy, or do the shortcut key if you know that. Then I'm going to click on this end block inside of the else and paste in all that code. Huzzah, it's all there. Notice that it indents as it goes down inside of these blocks. So this whole thing here only happens if the number of master bricks is 0, and it indents it into that level. Now, this start and end block only happens if the next room exists. These two match up. All of this only happens if the next room does not exist, the else statement. And so you may notice that that's indented all to the same level, and that's on purpose to try and help you see which things are inside which things. So if there is a master brick, none of this stuff is going to happen. It's just going to keep playing the game. Only once you reach 0 is that going to occur. All right, I think I have the multi-brick in here. I do, so this will be really quick to see if it works. Yay, I win. All right, no, I don't want to play again. So another thing I said to do in the requirements was you should put in a cheat code for yourself, a shortcut key, so that if you have 17 rooms, you don't have to play through all 17 rooms in order to test room 17. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a key press for the letter N for next. If the next room exists, start and end block, go to the next room. So that's just a quick way for me to just walk through all the rooms. All right, so I won't be able to test this because I don't have a second room, but that's basically the shortcut key you need to put in. Next, I would like to make it so the spacebar doesn't just constantly make the ball move around, because if I run this now, spacebar multiple times and they all change directions, which is kind of hilarious and actually useful for debugging. Once you finish up your game, though, you probably don't want the player to be able to do that. So I'm going to go into the ball object, into the press spacebar event, and I need to fix this. All I need to do is check to see if the ball is already moving. If the speed is something other than 0, I know it's already moving, and I shouldn't change it again. So to test a particular variable, for example, speed, under the Control tab, there's a test variable in the center of that. So speed, spelled correctly, is equal to 0. Only then do I do this. There we go. Okay, so that takes care of the speed issue. Next, it is possible the random number generator gives me exactly 180 or 0 when I start the game, and it will go back and forth forever or until my computer runs out of power. I would like to fix that as well. The way I'm going to do that is when the ball starts moving, so here, I'm going to give it just the tiniest bit of gravity so it slowly pulls down. So eventually it comes down. Under the move command, gravity set under the, with 2 blue arrows, set gravity. So I'm going to say set the direction to 270 is down. So remember 0 is right, 90 is up, 180 is left, 270 is down. And I'm going to give it like 0.001, so very little gravity, so that it slowly pulls it down. Now one thing I have to do is once it leaves the room, I've got to turn gravity off. So if it jumps back to the starting position, I need to set gravity back to 0. So when it's outside the room, I put that in after it jumps back to its starting position. Because otherwise what will happen is it'll slowly start drifting down the screen. And since it's moving with that spacebar event, it wouldn't let me actually do this part here. It's probably hard to see this, but let me change that over so it's not the multi-brick anymore. Multi-brick goes away. There we go. So now if it goes outside the room, if you don't remove that gravity thing, this will slowly start drifting down and you won't have any control of it. So the 2 places I put that, when the ball leaves the room, or I'm sorry, when the ball leaves the room, I'm going to set gravity to 0. When you press the space bar, I set a small amount of gravity to the ball object. All right. Last thing I'd like to do. So right now, it's possible that you get a particular angle so the ball object just kind of goes in a diamond pattern and you can never get the corners, which is annoying. So what I'd like to do is have a little bit more control over the direction of the ball object when it collides. So what I'm going to do is if it hits more to the right side, I'm going to make it so that the direction goes more to the right. If it hits on the left side, it goes more to the left. And how do I do this? Through the magic of mathematics. Yeah, it's fine. It actually has a purpose here. So the reason that I centered this bar object and the ball object was so that their x positions, I can compare them. So if the ball's x is to the left when it collides, so if the x is less than this one, I need it to go off more to the left. If it's to the right, I want it to go more to the right. In particular, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the direction of this ball object. I'm going to add to it whatever this difference is. And if it's to the right, I'm going to subtract. So right after the ball collides with the bar, I need to change its direction. So what I'm going to change is self.direction. I can use the keyword self to refer to this particular ball object. I don't want to use the name because that may not be the one that is colliding right now. So when you use the name, it's the first one created, which who knows which one that is. And what I'm going to change its direction to is the other guy's x position, which is the bar, minus my x position. Relative. So what I'm going to do is take my current direction and either add or subtract the difference between our x positions. So in general, let's say that my x position is, I don't know, 90 pixels, and the bar's is at 100. So 100 minus 90 gives me 10. I add 10 to my direction, and it'll go more off to the left. Let's say I'm to the right, so I'm at 100 and it's at 90. That will give me back negative 10. I add negative 10 to my direction. That's more off to the right that way. All right. And someday this comes down and I can show you that this actually works. There we go. So that made it less sharp of an angle. If I hit it more on the left side, that makes it go off more to the left. So it gives me a little more control over which direction I'm going. All right, that's the last of the things I'm going to do today. Next time I'll show you how to put in instructions. It's actually pretty easy. You just open up this game information and put it in. Next period we'll be just working on the project itself.